Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program 2, where we are currently working on a mission that is ending up being far more complicated than expected. No doubt about that. I think that's the only thing that we should really say about it at this point, but there is also some stabilization that I want to do to this rocket. So we could do, like, this is an all-moving... Yeah, this is just stabilizer. And these are wings. Okay, so let's go with something like these guys. I just want some form of stabilizer for this rocket because its aerodynamics are really quite bad. So something along the lines of this. I feel like this is probably overkill, to be honest. But it should do the trick. That should make this thing be much more stable combined with the RCS that we... rather the reaction wheel that we put up over here. So that seems okay. Now, as far as this thing not tipping over, hopefully it doesn't. In our testing, the previous iteration did tip over in real-world applications. In our simulations, it did not, but it might have something to do with, like, how hilly the terrain is or something like that. So I would like to have some form of apparatus up here that we can use to push ourselves back up. In KSP-1, I would have it be robot arms. Do such a thing exist in KSP-2? Like, I would have, like, quad robot arms, one in each of these directions, although we're most likely to tip this way or this way because of the way the wheels are. So that is understood. Let's maybe landing gear, actually. Landing legs might do the trick. So extendable landing legs. And if we did it like this, of course, our landing legs would extend like that, which isn't actually what we want. What we actually want is for them to extend out kind of awkwardly in this direction. Like that. So this way, we get pushed upward, in theory. In theory. Now, I don't know if those legs are long enough. These are the mediums, I believe. No, these are the smalls. Let's go up to the mediums. And it would be something kind of like this. And then these would get extended like that. I don't love the angling of it, so let's change their overall angle. So we're going to grab these guys, and we're going to rotate them to be about like that or so. Maybe even like that. Okay. And then we're going to retract them, and they form kind of this conical shape. The question I have now is, does this block this hatch? We'll find out. So let's save this and put it out on the pad. This mission is far more complicated than it should have been at this point. No doubt about that. Let's save this, put it out on the pad, and let's have Bill EVA. EVA is disabled due to an obstacle. Okay, so that is the problem that I was concerned about. We're going to have to change the angling of these legs, specifically what external angle they're on. It's fine. It's fine. I hope. I hope it's fine. So back into the VAB we go, and rather than having them be directly lined up like this, we're just going to need to change them to be on this. Also change that angling. Okay. We're going to need to change them like this, and then I want to rotate them. We're going to need them extended. We're going to need to change their overall angle to be more like that. Then I want to change this angle to be like that. Awkwardness is ensuing, for sure, here. I kind of hate it. The other iteration was much, much better, in my opinion. Okay, let's put it back to that. And the question then becomes, what can we do about this hatch blocking? We might be able to just move this a little bit. No, that's not what I wanted to do. We might be able to use the rotate and translate tool and just move this inward like that. It's very, very, very awkward. Let's see if that's blocking our hatch. What do we got? Hey, we can EVA now. Okay, beautiful. So with that in mind, let's get out of here. Let's try this again. So up we go. We should have a lot more stable of a situation here. No doubt about that. Like, we shouldn't have that big tumble, which means that we can start our gravity turn somewhere around, like, 20-ish kilometers, which would be fairly ideal. We'll see how it goes if our aerodynamics are better, but they absolutely should be with these control surfaces. Our payload is a little heavier, that's for sure, but if we're more controllable, then that's probably a worthwhile trade-off. Okay, so we're up to 15-kilometer apoapsis, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. That is very, very controllable now. I like it. Let's put this right at about 45 degrees here. And we'll hold here until about a 40-kilometer apoapsis. This is a little over-controllable, to be honest. Okay, that is a 40-kilometer apoapsis. And we're now just bringing this on down to the horizon. And I just want to park it here at the horizon. We're going to burn here until such a time as our apoapsis is going down. Okay. Yeah, until such a time as our apoapsis is just into space. I do see that overheat. That overheat could be problematic. We could put this in a fairing. Yeah, that overheat is going to be problematic. Okay, I'm cutting our throttle for the moment. Okay, heat is starting to go back down. Starting our throttle back up, and that's 73 kilometers. Okay, so there we go. If I hadn't have cut the throttle there, I think that we would have lost our capsule, which would have been, you know, mildly problematic. But let's just bring this out into a roughly circular orbit here. What is this actually at? It's close enough. Okay, and let's make our way over to this position. We can see we're at 71 kilometers right now. We are dropping due to drag. We'll keep an eye on that. Actually, at this position, we have quite a lot of drag. Let's move this back to prograde. We are struggling to move it back to prograde right now. This is due to losing control surface authority. But our apoapsis is currently in the atmosphere, and we just need to bring this right on back. Okay. That tumble is a significantly smaller tumble than what we had before, and this does mean that we had a bit more efficient of an ascent. Emphasis on bit, and I'm going to just burn a tiny, tiny amount here to about 71 kilometers. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to head on over here. We're still in the atmosphere, but barely. Cool. And let's warp our way towards this burn point. It's about a minute out, but we just need to exit the atmosphere here. 65 kilometers ground altitude. Let's switch over to sea level altitude. And we launched basically at the Terminator, but it's okay. This is fairly dayside over here, so I'm relatively content with that. I'm not going to relaunch this. This is daytime enough, so that'll be good. We're out of the atmosphere as of now. Okay, and we can now warp forward a little bit. 20 seconds, 10, and 3, 2, 1, mark. We're just looking to bring our periapsis up to... Okay, that is overshooting on the apoapsis. No doubt about that. Let's, at the periapsis, dial back this apoapsis a little bit. Let's get turning to retrograde. We're going to need to be there. And we're going to create a maneuver plan here to dial back this apoapsis, although we can't actually see what it's at right now. Okay. So to about here or so, but we need it slightly higher than that. That'll do. Okay, we'll align for that burn. That'll be in about 1 minute, and that is absolutely fine. Obviously, our control surfaces are doing literally nothing at this point, and they won't anymore. They did their job and stabilized us on Ascent. That's all we wanted out of them. Okay, we've got about 1 minute until this burn. Let's warp forward a little bit here. 40 seconds, 30, 20, 10, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Okay, I overshot that one too. Let's flip it back around. Our periapsis is within the atmosphere, but it was very, very close there. Very close indeed. Okay, I'm going to thrust limit this guy for the moment down to like 5% thrust. And we're going to raise our periapsis just barely back up. We want to be just in orbit. Okay. 68, 69, and there we go. Just barely in orbit. 70,006 meters. I'm going to unthrust limit this, and now we need to wait for a halfway decent timing. So it looks like it's over here right now. Let's head back to the KSC for the moment, and let's get our timing set up here. Okay, and we are, of course, going to warp here at like 100 or 1000x. Probably 1000x for right now. And we need to wait until this guy comes all the way on around. Until we're roughly in line here. Okay, here he comes. And I think on this next orbit, that's probably going to be... I want to wait a little longer, I feel like. Yeah, let's give it one more orbit and see what that looks like. Timing is not going to be ideal, but I want to head this direction if we have to dogleg. And we do have to dogleg here. The other option, of course, is we can wait until it comes around again and see if we're lined up better. And let's do that. I feel like that was just inauspicious timing. So let's try this again and see what this timing ends up looking like. So around we go, another day. Okay. So we're up here right now. Our target is here. Let's give it a little bit of extra time. This is, I think, looking better as far as timing goes. So we're going to bring this around. Where are we in our orbit right now? Okay, we're currently heading down on this side. This is definitely looking a lot better. Okay. So, we're going to pause the game for right now, and we're going to hop into the Fly Safe 16. And we're going to prepare our burn here. Now, the game is fully paused at this moment. We want to be over on the retrograde side. And we are going to want a burn sometime... Wait, we can't create a maneuver while the game is paused? What? That's insane. We can't edit maneuvers either while the game is paused. Okay. Well, that's exciting. I disagree with that, but sure. Okay, we're going to need to burn heavily retrograde here. In fact, we've kind of overshot this. We need to burn retrograde, like, right now. Maximally retrograde. Okay. So we're going to try to slow down enough, but let's see if we can make it. We know that we're trying to land somewhere over here, right? Yeah. We definitely overshot that. Okay. Well, we're trying to boost back a little bit here, and we're still cruising way too quick. We're going to need to head over this direction as well. So that is absolutely understood. We'll do what we can on that. But, we're overshooting by a lot. We may want to try this again. Or we could just continue to sit here and head off this direction a smidge, burning about here, and changing our overall velocity just that much more, right? But we need to get turned all the way around here, and I doubt we have the delta V for that. So while we can definitely make our way down safely, what we can't really do is make our way over here in a timely fashion. I warped too far. So that is absolutely understood. For the sake of time, I think I'm going to load in the autosave that was made. This is the atmosphere transition. Okay, so we would need it to be here. Just for the sake of time, I warped too far, and let's see if we're too far still. Okay, where are we? Yeah, this is still too far. I'm going to transfer all of our fuel over. Resource manager, Methalox. In here. Okay. We'll see if that's enough thrust to weight, but yeah, the efficiency of that is much worse. Okay, so we're going to have to load in an earlier save than that, and that means we're going to need to load in like this autosave for the sake of time, in theory. Okay, let's see what one this is. It's just a matter of thrust to weight, right? So that is understood. So we're currently in this situation here. We're making our way back into orbit. We're trying this again, and I just loaded this in for the sake of time because we would just be able to recover it and relaunch and get back into this position very, very easily, and this really changes absolutely nothing in science mode. So just for the sake of time, we'll try this again. This time I'm not going to warp too far. 2, 1, 0. Okay, let's get into orbit. Okay. Timing is awkward there. Sure. So we're going to get around to retrograde and dial back this apoapsis a bit. This time I'm not going to overshoot that either. That sounds good. So that's okay. We're currently a minute away from that, and we can see that this is currently out over here, yeah. We're going to need to wait for it again, and I think giving it 2 orbits is the correct amount. That's a pretty good encounter there. I just warped too far previously, so that is absolutely fine. Let's just get ourselves into position here, and we can warp forward a little bit. About 20 seconds. Okay. I'm going to commence this retrograde burn around now-ish, although I think I should wait slightly longer. Okay, around now. Okay, you can see there, the periapsis flipped around. I did overshoot it a little bit. So, let's bring this on back. This is unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's bring it on back, and let's get this mission done once and for all. It's, been oddly complicated. Oddly complicated indeed. Precision landings in atmosphere without KER are significantly more complicated. There we go. That'll do. 70,001 kilometers. Okay. Now, as we did before, back to the KSC. Then to the tracking station. And now we need to warp until we are roughly lined up. Okay. So we're waiting for this guy to come around. We'll have to wait probably a second day. Because we determined last time, yeah, that timing just is not fantastic. So we're going to wait a second day here. And around we come. And we're going to not warp too far this time. Okay. I'm bringing it out of warp now, even though we're going to have to do another orbit. That is understood. I'm going to control this guy, and we're going to be positioned retrograde, of course. But for right now, we want to warp around to the apoapsis again. So we're going to warp this around 100x. We're going to take one more orbit. And we know that this is going to be fairly close in the lineup here. Okay. So sometime around here or so, we want to do a retrograde burn. And it'll be something kind of akin to this. Let's warp a little closer and see how that timing is looking. Trajectory-wise, that seems to be pretty close. I think it might need to be about here. Something along those lines. Let's warp in a little closer. Okay. And we're going to align to that maneuver node. We've got about 20 seconds to get there. And we're going to burn 277 meters per second out of here very, very quickly. And then the remainder will be much more slow. That's fine. This is almost all of our DV, so we just hope that we nail this. We're definitely going to be on land, so that is what is necessary here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Doing this in atmosphere is just so much more complicated. No doubt about that. But let's just slow ourselves on down here. And yeah, I mean, this is going to rotate under us as we fall a little bit. I think it's not going to rotate quite this much, but that's fine. This is pretty much going to burn out all of our fuel. So that seems okay. In fact, I think it will burn out all but like a tiny, tiny bit. So that looks good. We're going to be landing reasonably close. And as we go here, this will continue to get a little closer underneath us, but we'll see how close it ends up being. I wouldn't mind shifting some of this out this direction a smidge. Not very much, just out here a little teeny tiny bit. Yeah, something kind of like this. So we're just continuing to bring this on down. And in fact, I would rather be at like the horizontal marker. Okay, and now I want to be about here. And just burn off the remainder of the fuel. Now, we are in the atmosphere as of right now. We're continuing to slow down. And I'm just angling us to be pretty much exactly burning off our horizontal speed at this moment. That is our only real goal. I think we're on a decent trajectory this time. Yeah, this shouldn't have taken this many tries. Hopefully, this one actually works. So we're just burning off the remainder of this. There we go. And now we're going to head over to retrograde. We can see we're speeding up at this moment because of our position in the atmosphere. We will start slowing down again very, very soon here. But we're heading in on a very good trajectory right now. Okay, now we're starting to slow down. So this seems absolutely fine. I'm going to turn on our brakes. It looks like we're going to undershoot it a little bit. But that's okay. This is pretty much exactly where we want to be. Very, very close to where we want to be anyway. So, we're down to 200 meters per second. I'm not going to get our chutes out because we know that that will slow us down dramatically, and I want to maintain as much horizontal speed at this point as we can. So we're definitely going to be a couple kilometers away from this position. But as long as we can remain upright, we should be okay. So I'm going to set this to SAS only, and I'm going to set this to SAS only. Do we have torque in this guy? Is there a reaction wheel in here? No. Okay, good. So we're about 5 kilometers up right now, and continuing to drop. We're definitely going to need to travel a little ways. Let's get our chutes out. And we can physics warp down towards the ground. You can definitely see it's not very late in the day. That's fine. Okay, so we're about 2 kilometers up right now. Looks like we're going to be coming down around 5 kilometers away from our target point. That's fine, assuming we can climb these hills. We'll see if that's a thing. And this might actually be close enough. We need to land this thing, and we need to... This is technically in the desert. I don't know if this is its own biome or not. We need to run a crew report, quote-unquote, at Cappy Rock, right? So whatever that means, at Cappy Rock. But we're going to need to drive over to that, and that's, in theory, something that we can do. In theory. But we just need to gently waft on down to the ground for now. And I'm going to do the drive over, I think, off camera. And next episode will be pretty much there. Although I'd like to proof that we can make it. That would be nice. We may, if this tips over, then we need to expand our wheel radius, right? We need to have our wheels be further out from our center. That's the only way around it. So hopefully this doesn't tip over. We've taken a number of steps to ensure that it doesn't. We could extend our landing legs right now, but I want to use the landing legs to try to push us back upright if we do fall over. That's the idea. So we're going to go into this darkness here. The sun is not particularly high right now, although it will be rising as we fall. You can see that I think this is due to the shadow map. I don't think that's the sun rising. But this is definitely a fairly rough area, and the question is, can we get up a hill like this, right? That's the overall question. Well, the first question is, do we tip over? Hopefully, the answer to that is no. Then the question is, can we get up a hill like this? Okay, let's not be warping as we get down onto the ground. Well, we did not tip over this time. Beautiful. Okay, let's turn our brakes off, and we're going to start rolling downhill. The real question here is, can we make it up something like this? I've not applied any torque yet. Okay, I'm applying torque. Ooh, okay. So we tip over as we go up the hill. Well, that is what these are for. Well, that definitely worked as intended. Let's unextend this. They're going to flip back. And that may allow us... SAS is trying to hold us here right now. Okay, let's put this back into all mode. We can almost raise this. Okay. There we go. Nice. And now we're very awkwardly moving up the hill. I'm not doing this, by the way. This is entirely the SAS is doing, moving us up this hill. So this is a theoretical viability, except that now the SAS is trying to take us the other way. Brakes on. And we tip back over. Okay, so that is definitely a lesson learned. That we can do this number, raise ourselves up in a really awkward fashion, right? Like that. And then we can put our SAS into SAS only. And then this SAS would also be in SAS only. Torque mode. There. Oh, keeps moving around on me. Okay, SAS only. And ooh. Really? In SAS only mode? We just tip right over. Okay. Well, that is certainly intriguing. There's definitely a way to do this. 100% there is a way to do this. We're using these landing legs to generate us some torque and trying to push ourselves off of the ground with the landing legs, see? But what I want to do right now is get ourselves back up. The easiest way to be back upright appears to be to do a backflip. This is very awkward. No doubt about it. Okay, we're upright. No, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay. Well, this is going to be an exciting journey. Out of curiosity, if we're like this, and our wheels are not... Can we travel like this? Hang on. I'm putting this on all and all. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, we're probably not going to want to go directly up this hill, is I think the answer here. Okay. So we can use the torque of our landing legs combined with our SAS like that. Right? However, our brakes like to have us tip over. And then once we're tipped over, we don't have enough traction to get going based off of just this. So this is a viable thing, but it's a very awkward thing. No doubt about that. But we can certainly utilize this in the world's most awkward fashion to get ourselves back upright. I think the real answer here is what I said before, which is that we need to... Ooh, hang on. Brakes on, please. Okay. I don't want to go down this. The real answer here is that we need wider spread in these wheels. That's what the real answer is. This is somehow even more awkward. I love it. Okay, I don't want to roll that way. I want to roll this way. We can actually make our way around with some roll torque here. Ooh, it's trying to roll back the other way now. We can just kind of breakdance our way around, kind of. Like, we can breakdance our way down this hill. This is definitely how this was intended to move. No doubt about it. And then from whoa. What is happening here? Okay, I don't know what that was. Very strange physics is happening. No doubt about it. But we can do this. And we can balance on here like that. Oh my. Okay, what I really want to do, of course, is get us upright. Like so. I really wish the up marker worked when we're grounded. Unfortunately, it doesn't. If it did, that would make this way easier. Okay, so we need to go this way, but we need to have the SAS off for the moment, I think. We're going in reverse right now, so things are, you know, mildly awkward. With SAS disabled, I have a feeling that once we get up this hill a little bit, it's really going to want to tip. Ooh. Yeah. SAS really did want to tip that. Okay. And now the SAS is, of course, tied to our motor control. However, ooh. Let's bring this back. Yeah, SAS is really trying to mess us up a lot. So it's really difficult to have this be in a correct position because we can't go to the up while grounded. I was expecting to be able to go to up while grounded, and that is not what ended up happening, right? So this ends up being quite uncontrollable because the SAS directionality is actually tied to the wheel directionality. I think I can learn to drive this, but it is certainly going to be awkward. I'm not sure what we just blew up there. Oh, some batteries. Okay, fun. I really wish that we could go to... No, no, stop it. Don't go this direction. Okay, I really wish that we could park it on up. I really wish that. Like, none of these other than hold attitude works when we're grounded. And that's very unfortunate. So there's definitely ways that we can do this, right? No doubt about that. There are ways that we can make this work. We can roll this direction like this. As long as I'm fairly cautious with it, it is a viable contraption. But man. And now it's not turning at all. Why are wheels not really turning correctly? I guess they take a very long time to turn. Okay, understood. Okay, so we can bring ourselves around this way. Like so. Can we make our way up this hill is the question that must be asked. And the answer is yes. I think at this point, I've learned how to drive this crazy machine. It is very crazy indeed. And by the way, we're in reverse this whole time. So there is that. Everything is very reversed. Ooh, let's make our way over this way a bit. Okay. So, we should probably get this thing turned around at some point. Don't go that way. Thank you. Right. Controls are reversed. Okay. This is really weird to drive. I'm not gonna lie. It's incredibly weird to drive. But it's doable. We can drive this. Okay, I want to slow down a bit here. We're going to head down here. I really want to slow down quite a lot. Okay. That's one way to slow down, I suppose. Yeah, that's definitely one way to slow down. Sure. So now we know that brakes are very awkward. However, I think we might be able to turn around now. I'm not sure if we're in reverse or not right now. Yes, we're still in reverse here. Okay. Well, this thing gets a lot of speed. No doubt about that. I'm toggling some brakes and such, trying to slow us down a bit. And it's doable. It's definitely doable. It just kind of careens. It definitely careens. No doubt about that. But we can make this happen. So it is well past time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will be much closer to Copy Rock by the time we get there. I'm just going to let this coast for right now. And in theory, it should be fine. I really do want to go to credits, but I need to be focusing on this, so I'm going to pause this while we do the credits. Okay, you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. This is the most awkward thing I think I've ever created. It's amazing.